Welcome to 11 Things Church, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Schneider, along with my co-host.
As usual, I'm Poppy.
I am back. I missed another one. I know I told you guys I would not miss a lot of the videos, but I had a crazy schedule the past couple weeks. Sorry about that. But let's jump right into this podcast. Got a lot of good things for you today. Short league news today. I got one thing, and it's just Jackie Bradley Jr. just extended his hitting streak to 27 games, which is a major league leading record right now. But other than that, that's all I got.
The only thing I have is Yu Darvish for the Rangers comes back on Saturday against the Pirates. People have kind of forgotten about him because of he's been injured the past year and a half. So, but one of the best pitchers in the league comes back on Saturday. Watch out for that.
All right, we're going to skip the fantasy player today because, like I said, we kind of posed a question. I did the last podcast about the best player we thought at their position. We're going with the American League today. We're kind of split them up. We'll do National League next time. So I'll start it off. We'll just go by the position numbers that they are in baseball. So number one is the starting pitcher. And I chose Marcus Stroman from the Blue Jays as my top pitcher in the American League.
Mine was Chris Sale. I think he's fairly underrated because he played for the White Sox. No one talks about him all that much. In this season, he has 9 starts and 9 wins, so he's sort of finally drawing some attention. But mine's Chris Sale.
Yeah, Marcus Stroman last year was hurt, so he really didn't have – and he came back at the end of the season and had a good, strong finish. This year he's putting up great numbers. He's the ace of that staff, and he's really just fun to watch on TV, to be completely honest with you.
I think anybody who – it's kind of funny because anybody who plays for the Blue Jays I think is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, good or bad, they always have something going on that's usually keeping them in.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So number 2 is the catcher. We actually both agreed on this one. It's really hard to go against that. Salvador Perez is my guy at catcher.
Mine also is Salvador Perez. For the exact same reasons you just listed. But yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think he's the Yadier Molina in the American League, to be completely honest with you. He's starting to hit a little bit, which is good to see. But yeah, he's just the greatest catcher in the American League right now, in my opinion. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm in the same boat. I don't have anything to add, so yeah.
All right, number 1 is arguably the best player. He's by far the best offensive player in the league for me. At first base is Miguel Cabrera. I don't have to say anything for him to justify why he's the best first baseman. If you pay attention to baseball at all, you would understand why. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think he's been one of the best players total in the past, 10 years maybe? I haven't watched him all that much, to be honest with you, because he is in the American League. And I don't know too much about his defense, but he seems like he's an average to above average defensive guy. And his offense, I don't need to recite his numbers because, well, one, I don't have the numbers next to me. But you don't need to recite these numbers to know how great he is and the fact that he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, Miguel Cabrera is pretty very obvious.
Exactly, and he won the Triple Crown, which hasn't been done in, I don't remember how many years it was, but a guy that can do that is pretty special. So we just did first base, which is 3, so number 4 is second base. I'm going to go with an obvious one. If you've watched any of these podcasts, you understand that I'm a huge second base fan, and my second baseman will always be Robinson Cano. I love this guy. I love watching Robinson Cano. In my mind, he's by far the best second baseman.
I think you're missing something, pal. Jose Altuve.
Nope.
Really? Look at this guy's numbers.
Nope.
Okay, hold on. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull this out for you. He is the true 5-tool player. Robinson Cano, I'm sorry, is not a 5-tool player.
Oh, that's fine. But you know who's running? Okay, look at it this way. Who's leading their team right now to the playoffs right now? Robinson Cano. Altuve does not.
That's not Altuve's fault.
Jose Altuve is not even the leader on that team.
Yeah, I disagree. I think he is.
Correa is the leader on that team.
Okay, here's Altuve's numbers. And this is for a second baseman, mind you. 9 home runs, 26 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, a 335 average, and a 421 OBP.
Okay, pull up Robinson Cano because he's got like 12 dingers right now.
Okay, hold on. Let me just give you 1 second.
Robinson Cano, in my mind, slick defensive fielding, just hits for power all day, and is leading his team right now to the playoffs.
Well, that's not Altuve's fault. The rest, okay, look at Dallas Keuchel. He's been absolute garbage this season.
Robinson Cano doesn't affect the pitching staff either. Robinson Cano's just a stud.
No, but Robinson Cano is leading his team. Don't get me wrong. But in my honest opinion, the Astros should be better than the Mariners. But that's just me. Anyway, Cano's numbers: 12 home runs, so he's up by 3. 37 RBIs, which is very good. Stolen bases, none. Batting average 289, OBP 346. So Altuve has a point. Altuve has like a 0.7, 0.8 better OBP.
No, OBP for Altuve was 335. Cano's 346.
No, the batting average for Altuve was 335.
I swear you told me OBP was 3. It doesn't matter. Robinson Cano's the best. Just deal with it.
I beg to disagree. And if anybody wants to comment on this, please do, because I think it's Altuve.
I do like Altuve. I really do like Altuve. I really do. I'm more of a defensive-minded person when it comes to baseball. Now with slow pitch, I really am. Robinson Cano just makes everything look so easy. He's just so smooth. Gets to almost anything. It's just the difference is Robinson Cano is, besides Corey Seager, is really the best player on that team, and Jose Altuve is not even the best player on his team.
I think Altuve is the best player on his team, though. That's the thing.
I'm telling you, Carlos Correa is so much better.
Carlos Correa is damn good. Don't get me wrong.
Even Jose Altuve will tell you the same thing. I watched a documentary on Carlos Correa, and he said that Jose Altuve said Carlos Correa is the leader of that team.
I don't think Altuve wouldn't admit he's the best player or the leader of his team. Players don't do that.
He's not the best player. Carlos Correa is leaps and bounds above him.
I disagree. I respectfully disagree with that, but
you are insane, sir. You are insane.
I don't think so, but I whatever. Enough argument.
And since we disagreed on that, another honorable mention is Jason Kipnis. He's a really good slick fielding second baseman too. Like I said, I'm a huge second base fan. Another one is Dustin Pedroia. It's sad that he's dipped to like 3 or 4, but because Dustin Pedroia's been so good for so long.
Well, that also shows how good the rest of the field is too.
Exactly. And then Ian Kinsler as well, second base. He's a good one too. So moving on, we go to third base now for the 5 spot. Mine's a little controversial. Me and you are going to differ on this one here, bud. Okay. And they both play the exact same. Defensive is really good. Batting is really good. I just like the youth of this player. I'm going to go with Manny Machado. I
actually have the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, you said Donaldson, sir.
I changed mine at the last second. And then what I did was I thought to myself, I think Donaldson has the better bat, but Machado's age and his defense, I think, are slightly better. Well, his age is obviously a lot better, but his defense, I think, is slightly better than Donaldson.
You're cheating.
Let's be honest. You cannot go wrong with either.
You really can't. And there's more, too. There's more third basemen out there that are really good. Corey Seager's another one of those honorable mention. The guy's won Gold Gloves the past 2 years. He's just really good as well.
Evan Longoria used to be a beast.
And I still feel Evan Longoria is still up there. I still rank Evan Longoria in the top 5 for me. But he's just not on one of those teams. He's still great defensively. Offensively, he's good. He just needs to be traded, to be completely honest with you.
There was actually a vocal group of Cardinals fans in the offseason who wanted to sign Longoria. Now, I don't know why, but
Well, I mean, looking back on it now, if Carpenter's playing second with Evan Longoria at third base, you're not looking too shabby to be.
that's pretty good, right? But yeah, you're right. He needs to be on a different team.
He's got to be another guy that just has blown up this year is Nick Castellanos. He has been on fire this year. I don't know. I don't know if it's roids. I don't know if he ate his Wheaties. I don't know what it is, but he's on fire this year. A little bit of both. Milk, Wheaties, and some steroids. So we'll move on. I'm going to go with the guy I just mentioned not too long ago, but I'm going Carlos Correa as the best shortstop in the American League. I swear you're cheating. I swear.
No. No. I told you before that I was going to go with Correa. I don't have anybody else. Francisco Lindor is pretty good, but not up there with Correa.
Troy Tulowitzki's been good, but he has been scuffing hard.
He's a human Band-Aid. He can never stay healthy.
Didi Gregorius is pretty good for the most part.
JJ
Harvey. Well, yeah, I mean, these are mostly honorable mentions. They play, but Carlos Correa, he fields, he hits, he's got an arm. He's a 5-tool player, no doubt. And like I said, I still think that he is the leader on that team by far, in my mind. But yeah, I mean, if you'd stop copying me, we could actually have a discussion here, Paul. Stop being a.
I'm sorry.
A doo-doo head, and maybe we can get somewhere. Okay.
Let's go to the outfield because I know we have at least one disagreement here.
Yes, we do.
Out in left field.
Yep, left field for me is Alex Gordon.
Well, I have him too. No, I'm just kidding.
I would smack you.
No, I have Justin Upton from the Tigers. Let's hear your rationale for.
My rationale is he's one of those other 5-tool players. He plays defense. He hits. He can hit for power. He can get base hits. He's got an arm. He's got speed. I mean, left field, you really can't get much better. I mean, to be completely honest with you, my big beef with Justin Upton is he's not really that fast. He's maybe an average to above average defensively, but he does just flat out rake. And so
it depends on what you value in this sense. If you want a decent, well-rounded guy, Alex Gordon's probably your man. But for left field, for me, I like power. So that's why I like Upton. But to be honest with you, I don't say that with much confidence because I've never been a big Justin Upton fan. Like you said, his defense has been spotty.
At best.
But he's not all that well-rounded. But if you want power from your left field spot like I do, I think he's your man.
Yep. I mean, in the next two positions, just because there's a lack of talent in both of them, to be completely honest with you, I don't really see anybody. But a center field for me and for everybody who has ever watched baseball here as of late should have the same answer, and it's got to be Mike Trout. He's just
exactly.
He's going to go down as one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and there's really not much to say. It's sort of like Miguel Cabrera. If you watch him play and you look at his numbers at all, you're going to know that he's arguably the first best player in the game. If you want to argue Bryce Harper, go right ahead. That's a fair argument. But he is in your top 2, top 3. So, yeah.
I think, to be completely honest, I think what would make Mike Trout even a better player is he needs to be batting leadoff. He needs to go into an off season, lose some weight, shed some of the weight that he's gained, shed some of that muscle that he's gained to hit 3 or 4, and he needs to hit leadoff. He needs to steal you bases. He needs to get in scoring position. I really feel
I'd like to see him steal some bases. Yeah, that's the one thing. But I think we're kind of nitpicking to a sense. But I wouldn't mind seeing him steal some bases. Yeah.
I don't think it's nitpicking because if you listen, so he hit leadoff his first year and just killed it. Stealing bases, hitting dingers, he was all over the place. It wasn't like an Angel. He could play shortstop and center field and at the same time. And then they had him go to like 3 or 4 in the lineup, and every analyst I've ever seen talk about it all think he should be back in the leadoff spot. I mean, they're not producing that many runs anyway, so why would you put someone who can run and get on base, why would you put him in 3 or 4? Put him in the leadoff, get him in scoring position. That way, big old Albert Pujols can knock him in. I mean, it's not that hard. It's very, very simple.
Well, Pujols will either strike out or he'll hit a home run. But I think the reason that they don't have him in batting leadoff is because they don't have anybody else to bat anybody else in. Cole Calhoun isn't going to do anything. Pujols, we don't need to talk about him anymore. Who else do they have?
Okay, let's just say this right now. Who would you rather have lead off for you? Because right now their leadoff guy is Yunel Escobar. So would you rather have Yunel Escobar lead off for you, or would you rather have Mike Trout? Because I can tell you right now, I would flip them.
Given, I'd say Yunel Escobar because you don't have anybody else to drive in runs consistently other than Mike Trout. I don't think Yunel Escobar is going to do it.
Well, I think Yunel Escobar batted 3 or 4 for the Nationals last year.
Let me see his stats. But let's see. All right. Right now, he has 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. Last year for the Nationals, in 139 games, he had 9 home runs and 56 RBIs. His top season RBI-wise was 2009 for the Braves. 14 home runs, 76 RBIs. And it's been downhill from there. I just don't see – I mean, I don't think Escobar is great at getting on base, as proven by his 364 OBP, which isn't terrible, but it's not all-star worthy. I just don't see him consistently driving in runs in a 3 or 4 spot. That's just me.
You can go back and forth. I mean, he's still one of the best all-around players in baseball. So you really can't go wrong with having him in center field for you. And then right field, I believe we both have Bautista. I believe
we do. Yes, you were correct. There's really not much else out in right field, to be honest with you.
No, I mean I guess you could put Carlos Beltran there. He's kind of slowed down a couple steps though. I mean, for the most part, it's gonna a lot of people are gonna pick Bautista just because of what he's capable of. I mean, 40 to 50 home runs every year.
If you see him with a bat in his hands, it's incredible what he does. Yeah,
exactly. You could go George Springer from the Astros. I really don't like George Springer. To be completely honest with you, he just I don't know if he rubs me the wrong way or what it is. I just really don't like him. But yeah, Jose Bautista is just, he's that guy. He's, gets things done, and I mean, that's what matters when it comes to playing baseball.
Who do we have left? I guess we have a DH and a closer now?
Yeah.
DH is pretty obvious. David Ortiz.
Yeah, it's David Ortiz. I said before we started the shooting, you could go Victor Martinez, but I honestly could tell you that if you told me Victor Martinez is better than David Ortiz, I might smack you, to be completely honest with you. I think David Ortiz will be the first DH to go into the Hall of Fame if it's not Edgar Martinez before him. And I strongly believe Edgar Martinez belongs in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you. But yeah, DH is pretty locked up with David Ortiz.
Agreed. And closer, who do you got?
I got Ozuna from the Blue Jays.
I'm actually a little surprised at that pick. Go ahead.
Last year he kind of came onto the scene and pitched really well. Closed out a lot of big games for him. This year the Blue Jays, it doesn't seem like no matter how many runs they score, they're always losing. He really doesn't have a lot of chance, but I feel like on a winning team, he'd be one of the best closers in the league.
I agree with that assessment. I think he'd be even better than he is now if he was on a consistently good, winning, solid team. But for me, I think it's pretty obvious, and Craig Kimbrell for the Red Sox. He's been, I think, the best closer in the game for the past 10 years. I don't even know if he's been around 10 years, but for the past 5 or 6 years, he's been the best closer in the game. Other than maybe Mariano Rivera, but he's sort of in his own category of greatness.
And Aroldis Chapman, too.
Aroldis Chapman's been good. I briefly considered him. it's hard to leave him off the list, to be honest with you, because he's electric when he pitches. But for me,
He's definitely
Craig
top
Kimbrell
5.
I think he's top 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kimbrell, it's fun to watch him pitch. He has sort of a quiet swagger to him, I think, in the fact that he knows he's going to get the save. He could probably tell you what he's going to pitch, and you're not going to be able to hit it. So I'm going to go Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, I mean, all of these have been fair choices, and everybody has their own opinion. It's fun
Fair
to battle.
choices other than Cano at second. God.
Oh, whatever. Get off me, Paul. Get off of me, okay? Jesus. Like I was getting ready to say, everyone has their own opinion. It's fun, trying to prove your side to somebody else. And that's what makes it fun. Other people have different ideas at second base as who's better than who. And we just kind of fell in that spot. And if you guys have, your own arguments, or if you guys want to, comment and post your own top, what is it, 9, 10, 11 players?
11, yeah.
11, your top, listen to the categories on here, and you can do that yourself. But other than that, we're going to move right into some Cardinal news
I just want to say one thing real quick. I'm interested to see who you're gonna pick next week for the NL shortstops, because it's such a deep list. There's about 4 guys off the top of my head that you could put in there.
I'm thinking of 2 right now.
I'm thinking of 3. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm thinking of 2 right now, as of right now.
So we'll see, but it'll be interesting because the NL we know a lot more. Obviously. So I think our picks, they could differ a little bit more because we've seen more of these players more often. But anyway.
And so we'll move right into Cardinal news discussion if we have one. I'll kick it off real quick. But Mike Leake's finally pitching. We're finally getting our money's worth, I think. It's great to see him finally come on. He pitched a good game yesterday. I just watched the highlights on it not so long ago, and I'm happy to see it.
You're exactly right. It's fun to watch him pitch because he's like a ground ball pitcher. So it's fun to see him get the ground balls and the defense actually field the ground balls and not produce 16 errors a game. So yeah, it's we paid him a boatload of money and the Diamondbacks were about to pay him a boatload of money, so it's kind of sweet to see him beat the D-backs, the team that he was wanting to sign with and was about to sign with actually. It's because we need him. It's been sort of this interesting trend the past couple of weeks. Michael Wacha and Carlos Martinez started off really well, and Adam Wainwright and Mike Leach started off pitching like garbage. And then the past week and a half, 2 weeks, it's flipped. Michael Wacha and Carlos Martinez have not been all that great, and Wainwright and Leach have turned it around. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pull it together. And Jaime Garcia today had a terrible start. He only won a few innings, and he just didn't have it. Whatever. Yeah,
he's definitely a field guy. He's got the stuff to potentially go out and pitch really well every time. But Jaime Garcia has always been a field guy. If he doesn't have a feel for a pitch, it's going to be a long day in the office. If he's healthy, I still think Jaime Garcia is a top 15, 20 pitcher.
I completely agree, and it's good that we have not discussed his health this season, because if you bring up Jaime Garcia in previous seasons, you're going to talk about his health, and that's not an issue so far this season, and it's a nice break, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And other players that are coming out now that are actually having good quality seasons now, Matt Adams all of a sudden has decided that he's going to pull his head out of his ass and he's going to start hitting,
It was nice to see. It was nice to see yesterday when he was batting. They actually didn't employ the shift on him. So teams are finally maybe sort of starting to respect his power to hit the other way, which is much needed because if he's going to make any money and make a name for himself in the league, he needs to hit the other way.
They did deploy the shift on him in his last at bat. I actually just watched it. So the shift was on him on the last one he just took. I don't know about anything before that. But he's finally playing well, which is awesome to see. I don't know if anybody else has heard, but we should be having a celebration today because Yadier Molina hit his first home run yesterday. Like I said, he's been a doubles machine. He's been driving the ball really well. I knew it would eventually come. I didn't know exactly when, but it was awesome to see.
How many? Go ahead.
No, I was done. You're good.
I was going to ask you a question. How many home runs do you think will hit this season? 10?
I'm saying with 10, between 10 and 15, because I feel like he's going to get hot, like really hot here soon, and he'll rattle off a couple. I mean, that's with any player, to be honest with you. So I'm thinking if he hits you 10, but drives in like 70, 80, something like that, I think you're looking at a good quality, still good quality big league catcher.
I'm going to go between 8 and 11. I agree with you, and I think he will get hot. He is hot now, but I do think he will rattle off a few coming up. I'm going to go between 8 and 11. I don't see him hitting any more than 12 or 13 because going later in the season, I think he's going to get more rest in case the Cardinals are in a playoff contention. They're going to need him for that. So I think he'll get a decent amount of games off. That's assuming Brian Pena gets back within the next 3 years. But yeah, I think between 8 and 11, fair number. And, like you said, 70, 80 RBIs, that's pretty good.
Yeah, still big quality short or catcher for you. It's still defensively great. Another thing I wanted to bring up real quick is I saw on Facebook one of my buddies posted somebody had a comparison of Hayward to Piscotty, and Piscotty's blowing Hayward out of the water right now. So all you doubters out there that wanted Piscotty, didn't want Piscotty to play, you guys can be quiet because Piscotty is, in my mind, offensively better than Jason Hayward, and I've said that from day one. You're not going to replace his defense because he's by far the best defensive outfielder. There's no replacing that, but I think Piscotty's better offensively than Jason Hayward.
I agree with you. I think, although to be fair to Hayward, he has always had bad first halves. We saw it last year with the Cardinals. He was not good in April and May. It was frustrating because he didn't do anything with the bat. But he did come on in the second half of the season. I expect to see that again. However, I still think Piscotty's better.
It just amazes.
Go ahead.
It just amazes me how a guy can only play half a season and get as much money as he did. If you really think about it, he's only playing half a season.
Mm-hmm. Consistently well half a season, yeah. But like you said, his defense, it's the best in the league. He's won Gold Gloves for a reason. Piscotty is an average defensive outfielder, maybe slightly above if you want to be optimistic. But that difference, so having Piscotty be better offensively, not as good defensively, isn't worth however much Hayward was getting paid, like what, $13 million or something like that, something crazy like that.
Something like that. I don't even.
That's not worth that amount of money.
No, I'll take less defense. I'll take a little less defense for more offense for a whole season. To be completely honest with you.
No, I completely agree. I'm going to look up Hayward's contract right now. I forget how much it was for.
But like I was.
No way. Is this right? It was a $181 million contract.
Wow. For how many years?
1, 2, 3, 4, 8 years, but there was an opt-out in there somewhere. There was like 2 opt-outs or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
If I told you that the Cardinals would be putting up the offensive numbers that they've been putting up this season, you would think that they'd have a better record than what they have now. But because of the pitching and because of the defense, they're only, 3 or 4 games, 5 games above 500?
Yeah, I mean, it's something like that. Man, it's just crazy. Like I said, it's just crazy. I know he plays defense the whole year, but you're playing for half the game for a whole year, and he's only playing the full game for half the year. Like, like that's. I mean, and like you said, it's been like that forever. He's been doing that.
He did it with the Braves. Forever. He did it with the Cardinals. Because I remember last season we were all throwing hissy fits over. Oh my God, Jason Hayward isn't doing crap. Where is his production? And his defense was fine. It was great, but he didn't do shit offensively.
Yeah, like you said, it's been like that forever. I don't understand how you can, pay $180 million over 8 years for a guy who plays half a season. You're paying for 4 years with an 8-year contract. I mean, if you really think about it. You're paying 4 years for $180 million. I don't know what that comes out to, but I know it's a whole hell of a lot.
Agreed. I have one question for you that watching this concerned me yesterday a little bit. Are you worried about Trevor Rosenthal at all?
Okay, so me and my buddies, one of my closest friends, actually, he's pretty much family, to be honest with you. We call him Trevor Blosenthal.
Well, he has that name among multiple Cardinal fans. Yeah.
Or I sometimes call him Trevor Blows It All. He's always been like that. I honestly, this is one of my other buddies. We've talked about this at length for a lot. I honestly think that Trevor Rosenthal can't pitch without giving the St. Louis Cardinal fans heart attacks.
I agree. Well,
I feel like
I agree.
He doesn't really start pitching until there's like runners on second and third with no outs. Then he's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, that's a little risky. I can pitch. I really think that he needs to pitch with runners off base, and he needs to throw strikes. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. I don't know if he's doing it to go, hey, look at me, I can get out of this, and I'm blowing saves. If that's what he's doing, he really needs to stop because that's not helping him. But he needs to figure out a way to pitch without runners on. And just a real quick second, I just saw Noah Syndergaard's stats. He pitched 7 innings today with 11 strikeouts with no runs.
That whole Mets rotation is dynamite. I want to talk about that next week when we do our NL position because there are – obviously the best pitcher is Clayton Kershaw, but the Mets, God, their pitching is so good.
If you're going this year, I'm thinking Noah Syndergaard's your best pitcher for the NL.
You could be right, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I just.
If say Rosenthal continues to struggle and maybe give up some games, who do you put in as the new closer? I put in O.
You could do O. I just think O is too valuable for you when he comes in the middle of a game to get out of jams because he's really good at that.
He's really good, yeah.
And especially with Seth Maness being on the DL right now. I really think that, hey, Colton Wong just got a hit. Holy shenanigans. I really think that O is more valuable as just a reliever. I think the two people that could possibly run the closer spot right away would be either
Kevin
Segrist or Broxton. I almost said
Broxton
for some reason.
Obviously has the experience, and he's had a fantastic season so far. Yeah, he really has.
Exactly. I mean, closers have to have a mindset that the game falls on them. And if they're okay with being the person that's responsible for the loss, that's when you get a good quality closer. I really think that there are times that Blows It All goes out there and doesn't, is not okay with it all falling on him. I honestly am tired of the whole him throwing a hissy fit because he wants to start. I feel like that's part of the problem.
Like that either. I mean, it's kind of like saying Aroldis Chapman should start. I don't agree. Why? I mean,
just accept your role and be a great closer. Why not be great where you are?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little more optimistic on Rosenthal than you. I'm not a huge fan, but I agree with you when you say that they have to have a mindset that the game is going to fall on them, and that they need to accept that. And while I'm saying that he doesn't do that. Like he doesn't not accept his role. I think he he's just honestly having a hard time actually doing it. Um, and with the closer, I think this is a really stupid statement, sort of a stupid reasoning, but I think you need to have a certain swagger and a certain aura about you. You name me one great closer that just doesn't have a ton of swagger.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more on that, to be honest with you. It's just, like I said, you have to have a different mindset going into it. It's not like a starter. If you have one bad inning, you don't get to go out there the next inning to repeat it. You have to wait the entire day, maybe longer.
Did you see yesterday's game, the end of it?
No, I did not.
The Cardinals were up 6-0, and they brought him in just to get him some work. It was 6-2 at the end of the game, and he left the bases loaded. So, yeah, the bases were loaded with 2 outs. He allowed a home run, and it was 6-2 with the bases loaded. So if he was this close to blowing it with a 6-run lead, and he threw, I think, like 35 pitches. So he won't be pitching today, obviously, because the Cardinals are losing anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just.
If that had been a 1-run or a 2-run ball game, the Cardinals may not have won that game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. I don't want to say it's time for a change, but it's getting to the point where it might be time for a change.
And I think the reasoning behind that is because the Cardinals have so many other capable arms. If the bullpen wasn't as good as it is now, I have to keep Rosenthal in there. But
yeah.
There are 3 guys, Segrist, Broxton, and O, who could be perfectly capable closers.
And I think Seth Maness, if he's on his game, could be a closer.
Sure, absolutely.
He'd just be valuable getting out of jams, just like O, in my personal opinion. I do not like, what's his name, Bowman? Is that his name?
Bowman, yeah.
I really do not like him, to be honest with you. I don't know. No, I don't. I really don't. But like you said, you want to talk about the Mets next week, correct?
Mets next week, and then we'll do the NL position players next week as well.
And I also want to get on a strike zone discussion. I watched Angels highlights with Mike Trout and Mike Trout for sure. I don't remember who the other batter was. Oh, it was Junel Escobar. And the strike zone was a big question. I personally think that an umpire should be fine because that was some terrible umpire.
I wanted to get to that next week as well. There was a report that came out that the Players Union or some committee, I don't know, something technical like that, they're discussing shortening the strike zone, and the intentional walk will basically become obsolete in the sense that we know it today. We pitch 4, lob 4 in there, and walk them. And this is all this is all a proposal to speed up the game. I don't think it'll work. We'll get into it next week. But I don't have anything else, do you?
No, I'm good. That's a wrap for me. I got nothing else. Like you said, we'll discuss the NL next week. We'll get on Noah Syndergaard, and then we'll get on the strike zone discussion. But I mean, other than that, I have nothing.
Yeah, I have nothing too. We'll be back next week with and see how the Cardinals did against the Cubs. It'll be interesting because have the Cardinals improved in the past month when they last faced the Cubs? Have they taken a step back? We'll see. We will see. But for now, that is the podcast for May 22nd. My name is Paul Eppy.
My name is Alex Schneider.
It was good to see you, and we'll be back next week.
See you guys.